Hello, beautiful beings, and welcome in. Welcome back to the reset. As always, we are here to soothe, but today we're going to do a short and sweet practice for the lymphatic system. I think it deserves more attention than it gets. I'm going to teach you a few sequences, a few tools, and one of them in particular I would highly recommend you do every single day. So as always, this is your practice. Move at your own pace. Skip absolutely anything that doesn't feel good in your body. We want no pain, no strain. We can always work our way up with pressure. And yeah, just take a moment to get as comfortable as possible. So let's take a moment to arrive before we jump a little more deeply into the lymphatic system. Let's start with one exercise for the vagus nerve, which also connects to lymph. So we're going to take our V fingers, index finger behind the ear, other three fingers in front, and then begin to just loosely rub up and down. You can check in with the breath. And then you're going to hold with some pressure and keep that pressure as you move up and down. And then keeping that pressure, you can make circles in one direction, and circles in the other direction. Gently moving to the other side whenever you feel ready. Index finger behind the ear, other three fingers in front. Begin by just very loosely rubbing up and down. And then holding with some pressure. Keep that pressure as you move up and down. And then circles in one direction. Maybe checking in if you can relax your jaw a little bit more. Circles in the other direction. Relax the hands down, shut down the eyes if that feels safe in your body, and just allow a moment to receive and integrate. Let's invite in a few rounds of the 4, 7, 8 breath. Really good to have in your nervous system toolkit. If any of those counts feels like you're straining too much, always move at your own pace. But we're going to inhale for a count of 4, hold for 7 seconds, and exhale for 8 seconds. So let's just take one natural breath, maybe in through the nose, out through the mouth. And then move at your own pace if you need to, if it feels good. Inhaling for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 4. Hold for 7. Exhale for 8. Inhale for 4, last round. Hold. Exhale. Inhale all the way to the top. Hold for a couple seconds and then exhale with a big sigh. Let it go. So, lymphatic system. The lymphatic system helps to clear waste and toxins from your body. It helps to remove excess fluid from your body. It moves through the entire body, and good to note that 1/3 of all of your lymph nodes are in your neck. So much of your body is bathed in lymph. You have 15 liters, 15 liters of lymph, which is 3 times as much fluid as there is blood in the body. And you replenish around 3 liters of lymph a day. It is a closed loop system. It's continuous, so it's important to look at different parts. Lymph is also primarily made out of water, and if you are dehydrated or if there's a backed up issue going on in your lymphatic system, you won't be able to produce and replenish all the lymph you need to. There is also a deep connection to the immune system, and we're going to show a whole bunch of love to the lymph system and the glymphatic system today. And this in particular, the big 6, I highly, highly recommend that you do every single day. So let's just start with a little bit of gentle tapping. You're going to take a fist with one hand and just start to tap all over one arm. Circulation, chi, lymphatic flow, coming to the armpit and tapping on the ribs. Same thing on the other side, just tapping inside and outside of the arm. Armpit, down on the ribs. And make fists on the chest or tap with your fingers. We're going to definitely come back to this area, terminus. And then let's make fists and also tap inside and outside of the legs, waking everything up. Audible exhales, big sighs, always settling back into your most comfortable position. It wouldn't be a Vili session if we didn't show some love to the jaw. So let's just check in, see how our jaw is feeling today. Let's open the mouth wide and then stretch from side to side, just noticing. And then relaxing the jaw. Let's take our knuckles. You could also take your fingertips. Maybe I'm going to start there and just massage down over your masseter. If you're unsure where your masseter is, touch your cheeks, clench your jaw for a second, and it will pop out. And you're just going to massage down over that muscle. And then let's bring our thumbs to this groove at the top of the mandible, just under your zygomatic arch. You're going to push in with your thumbs. Keep a bit of pressure as you open the mouth wide to full extension, slow and steady as you open and close. It can be tender, start gently, work your way up. Bit of pressure with the thumbs, full extension, slow and steady. Couple rounds. All right, let's take our index knuckle, massaging over your forehead and eyebrows, saying hello to your frontalis muscles, massaging over the cheekbones and up the jaw. Okay, so big 6. This is a pretty simple sequence that once you know it, you can do it in a few minutes. And I would really suggest you do this every day. I learned this from Perry Nickleston, and there are certain things that you can play around with, pressure and speed, but the non-negotiable is the order that we do this in. So let's begin. Right hand over your left collarbone, and you are just going to begin to rub back and forth, up and down, little circles. As I mentioned, you can play around with the pressure and the speed. This is where the most of our lymphatic flow happens. We always start here, left collarbone. And then you're gonna tap. So I like to say out loud, counting to 10, or think it. So you could do that with yourself. Just think 10 as you tap all over the collarbone. And then coming to the other side. So on, above, below, all around the collarbone. Massaging in, rubbing in, circles. Tapping 10 times. I don't know how that shows up on the mic. I hope it's okay. We're going to take our right hand to the left side of the upper neck and basically same thing. Rubbing back and forth. Circles. As I mentioned before, 1/3 of all the lymph nodes are in your neck. So you can always also be intentional and send love to our lymphatic system, keeping us healthy. 10 taps to your neck. So if it feels more sensitive, you could be more gentle or even skip it. Counting to 10. Moving to the other side. Hand comes to the upper part of the neck. Back and forth, little circles, waking everything up. Ten taps. Right hand to the left side of the chest. We're in our auxiliary pectoral zone. So where the shoulder meets your pec here and joins. Same thing, rubbing all over, circles back and forth, really get into that connection. Tapping 10 times. And let's do a bonus of just tapping under the armpit there. Other side, where your pec and your shoulder meet. Back and forth, circles, auxiliary pectoral. Good morning or good evening, whatever time it is. 10 taps. Bonus, armpit. We're gonna come to our belly. You're gonna place both your palms. Here you can use a little bit more force, and we're gonna move all over the belly. So really experiment here, up and down, side to side, all sides of your abdomen. Always mess up that word. Probably hear me do that for years. Abdomen. Back and forth, up and down. All over. So much lymphatic flow, so much going on here. I might do more than 10 here. You guys are doing great. Big six, making our way through. You're gonna come to your groin next. Same thing, just rubbing in, back and forth, all directions. Maybe some sighs show up on the exhale. Same thing, adding all over. Number 6, behind the knees. So same thing, rubbing. You can be right behind the kneecaps. You can be above a little bit, getting into the thigh and also into the calves. Back and forth, circles. Tapping all over. So that is the big 6. You're gonna have this forever in this on-demand library. Play around with pressure, with speed, but again, always doing things in the same direction. And a little bonus, if you're somebody here in the live or doing this, getting ready for bed and tucked in, you can skip this part, but keep it in mind. A little lymphatic bonus. You're gonna come onto your feet and you're just gonna get onto the balls of the feet and bounce. My teacher this morning was saying, let your arms be noodles. I like that. You can also shake the arms, involve them a little bit more. Maybe some audible sighs on the exhales. Happy lymph system. If you do it every day, send me a message and let's keep inspiring each other to show our lymphatic system love. Now let me get my breath back after that bouncing. Let's show a little bit of love to our SCM as usual. Big muscle on the side of the neck, massaging down each side. If you're unsure where to locate it, bone behind your ear is your mastoid process, leading directly into your SCM. Just noticing if it feels happy, if it feels tender. Moving on to the other side, locate your SCM, say hello, get into the muscle. I think many of us have a stickier side than the other. I certainly do. Ooh, certainly do today. All right, it's all connected, so let's do a cranial nerve release here. Again, just encouraging the flow in this part of the body. We're gonna grab our earlobe. You're gonna pull down and out and a little bit up, shape of a J, bringing up this cranial nerve path. Check in with your breath. Check in with your jaw. If you slip, start over, pull down and out and a little bit up. And then let's move to the other side. Maybe a little wiggle. Grabbing your earlobe, pulling down, pulling out, and a little bit up. More deep breaths here. Gently releasing. Let's do this suboccipital tilt, mastoid process tilt. You're going to take your thumb pads to these bones behind the ears. So just feel behind the ears. You should feel that bone stick out a little bit. And you're going to support the bones with your thumb pads. Check in with your axis here. Maybe a little bit of a lift up. Tilt to one side and then push into the bone on top, just extending the stretch a little bit more. Very mindfully coming back to center, tilting to the other side, pushing on that upper mastoid process. Coming back, since we're here, a little shampoo moment. Massage into your scalp. And then a bonus for anybody who has enough hair to grab onto, grabbing a good handful of hair, as much as you can, and then just pulling directly away from the scalp. This should not be painful. This should feel really nice. So if it doesn't feel nice, just keep massaging your scalp. Pulling away, you can also move in some circles. You can grab a slightly different area. Relax the jaw. Gently release. Okay, Okay, let's show some love to our glymphatic system. So this is basically the toxins that get cleared out around the brain. And this was actually, the glymphatic system was just discovered in 2013 by a Danish neuroscientist. So this is quite new in terms of things. So let's come back to our terminus where we were before and just tap all over on the collarbones, above, a little bit below. And then we're going to come to our pre-auricular lymph nodes. So taking your thumb and index fingers in front of the ears, maybe all three middle fingers, whatever you like, and just massaging in circles and moving down at the same time. So just coming in front of the ears, massaging, maybe do a version of circles and pulling down pre-auricular lymph nodes, just coming down to the mandible. Check in with your shoulders, see if you can broaden your collarbones a little bit. A very easy one to kind of cave in on yourself. So always coming back to our axis. And then we're going to come behind the ears, so just below the mastoid process. Here we're going to stay in the same area, but again, just massaging circles. Audible exhales, big sighs, always welcome. So we're at our retroauricular lymph nodes now. And the glymphatic system is most active at night, still doing its thing in the day. But that's when the most glymphatic activity happens, is when we're asleep. Okay, we're going to come back to our jaw. You're just going to take your fingertips, massage over the mandible, chin, making your way back. Relax the jaw. And then come underneath. So same thing, and we're basically pulling directly into that terminus that we were tapping. So all under the mandible, and then kind of coming in front of your SCM down towards the collarbones. Let's just tap across the terminus once more. Also wouldn't be a Vili session if we didn't send a little bit more love to the vagus nerve. So if you're seated, really sinking into the ground, think of your roots growing down. Think of the top of your head reaching up towards the cosmos and feeling that duality. If you're laying down, feel that in your own way. Just observing the breath for a few rounds. Maybe bringing your attention to your lymphatic and glymphatic systems and just feeling that flowing, keeping you healthy, keeping you clear. Let's invite in a few rounds of our VU breath. So this is a way to stimulate the vagus nerve very easily. We're going to inhale, excuse me, through the nose and exhale with a VU, emulating the sound of a foghorn. So inhale through the nose. Exhale with a VU, moving at your own pace. VU. A few more just like that, in through the nose, VU on the exhale. VU. One more. Coming back to the natural breath. Let's take our little pincher fingers, index and thumb pads, start at the earlobe, and just begin to massage and stretch your way all the way up the outer edge up. Once you reach the very top, thinking of rolling the edge of your ear outwards as you make your way back down. Earlobe tug for good luck. Moving to the other side whenever you're ready. Pinch your fingers, starting at the earlobe, massage and stretch. Work your way all the way up the outside edge of the ear. And once you reach the top, thinking of rolling the edge outwards. Earlobe tug for good luck. Relax the arms, shut down the eyes, and just take a couple of breaths. Relax and receive. Let's take our index finger slightly into the ear canal, a little bit of pressure backwards, and then just very gentle circles. Check in on your axis, find your stability, find your connection to yourself. And with these circles, we're really thinking more of moving the skin around rather than pushing too hard. Just sending sensory input to the nerve, letting the body know. Gentle circles in the other direction. Very normal if you yawn, make it a big one. Make those circles even more gentle. Often when I'm saying something to you, I'm really saying it to myself. Gently releasing, moving to the other side. Index finger slightly into the ear canal. A little bit of pressure towards the back of the skull. Gentle circles in one direction. Gentle circles in the other direction. Release, relax, receive. Let's take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart space. Notice what you feel under your hands. Can you feel your heartbeat? Noticing how much of your body moves with the breath. Maybe putting a little bit more pressure with both hands, and then just allowing them to gently move in whichever direction they're called. Maybe the same direction, maybe away from each other and towards each other. Maybe you just need some stillness. As you sit here connected to yourself, I invite you to express to yourself something you're feeling grateful for in this moment, whatever shows up for you. I'm so grateful for you guys being here with me. Thank you for resetting with me. Do that big six a few times, get it locked in, share it with your loved ones, find a big six accountability buddy, and gift your lymphatic system that each and every day. Hope to sit with you soon. Thank you so much.